Hey guys, welcome back to my beauty stash, or welcome if it is your first time here. Hello, my name is Steff. I would love to have you as a subscriber, so be sure to click on that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy watching. Today, it's all about this little beauty right here. I picked up the brand new NATASHA DENONA GLAM Face Palette. This launched on pre-sale a couple days ago, so I did order it from the NATASHA DENONA website, and it retails for $59. You are getting a cream blush, a highlighter, and 5 different eyeshadow shades. There are 2 different palettes available. I went with the light version, but there is also a dark version, which I'll include a picture of that right here. They both retail for $59, and you are getting the same product, just deeper shades in the darker palette. Now, this palette was available on the Sephora website earlier today, but since this is the start of the holiday VIB sale, Rouge members, it starts for you today on November 5th for 20% off. This palette has, I think, since sold out on Sephora online, but if you check with your local store, you might be able to pick it up. I know a couple of you out there mentioned that you did the buy online, pick up curbside at your local Ulta. So if you guys are able to do that, by all means, go for it. I also think that this went to Beautylish and Cult Beauty, and if it did, I will most definitely have that linked in the description box of this video, along with timestamps, because I'm going to be doing several different things with this palette today. I've already swatched it, so I'll be inserting those swatch photos. There'll be indoor swatch photos, both with and without flash, so that you can see what this palette is going to look like on a fair to light skin tone. Then I'll be creating 2 different looks using the palette, and then of course I will give you my thoughts and share with you some dupes and alternatives for some of the shades that are in this palette. I do want to mention that I'm not necessarily going to be duping the formula. NATASHA DENONA has a really special formula. She makes amazing eyeshadow palettes as well as blushes and highlighters and bronzers. So by no means am I going to be duping the formula, but I think I have some really good options, really affordable options for you for some of the shades that are in this palette. And guys, you might not feel the need to pick up this palette. I understand $59. We don't all have $59 right now to spend on makeup. So I'm hoping that those alternatives will be able to help some of you guys out. But if you have your eye on it, if it's something that speaks to you and you're a Rouge member, by all means, shop that Sephora sale ASAP, because I don't think this is going to be in stock very much longer. I will have my Sephora affiliate link in case you want to shop the sale using my link. I thank you so much. It really does help me out to support this channel and just continue doing what I love, and I always appreciate when you guys shop through my affiliate links. So let's get started, guys. We have a lot to do today, a lot to cover. I'm excited to dive into this one. So if you guys want to see this new NATASHA DENONA Glam Face Palette in action, keep on watching. Alright guys, so I want to start off first with the blush and the highlighter that are in this palette. So again, it is a cream blush that you're getting. And then of course you have that new highlighter formula. So I'm going to be using my little e.l.f. brush. This is the Putty Blush brush. And I'm going to dip in here. I do have a little bit of cream bronzer on. I have this one from Charlotte Tilbury. I use the shade Fair Medium. It is the contour wand. So let's start. Let's see. I'm getting my mirror straight here. So it's definitely a very sheer wash of color, but I would imagine it's buildable, which we'll find out right now. Oh yeah, it's building up. Now for cream products, I mean, you can most definitely use your fingertips. I think if you go in like with a makeup sponge, I think it'll sheer it out even more. But I do like to touch up like the edges using a damp beauty sponge, just so that I can make sure it's as seamless as possible. But typically I like to use a brush. And if I'm not using this one from e.l.f., I'm using this one from Refer. This is the Refer 04. I use this for both cream and powder, and it's really, really a nice brush. But this blush is really pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I don't think that this is a glowy blush by any means. I think it's more of like a satin finish, maybe even bordering on a matte. So if that is your preference, then this is something you might enjoy. I have a little bit of my favorite powder right now. This is the Huda Beauty Glowish. I use the shade Fair Light in this one. So if it looks like it has a bit of a sheen to it, that's probably why. But I didn't go in too heavy-handed with that Glowish. I wanted to be as light as possible with it. But I do love that it gives my skin kind of like a blurring effect. Guys, it's just been one of my favorites lately. Okay, so I think that looks really good. Again, I didn't go in heavy-handed with that contour wand. So this is mainly just blush that I have going on, especially right here on the apple of my cheek. I think it's so pretty. Okay, let me do this other side. Now, I was looking for a shade name on the blush, and actually none of the shades are named. They're just named like Inner Corner, Transition, Crease, Cream Blush, so on and so forth. Kind of like the way the Glam Palette is labeled, which I will be showing you comparisons of a couple different NATASHA DENONA palettes to this one in the dupe alternative portion of the video, but just wanted to point that out that there are no shade names. Okay, so I like the way the blush looks. I think that looks really, really nice. Let's dive into this brand new highlighter formula right here. Let me just swatch it on my finger. Really pretty. I mean, it feels really nice, buttery smooth. Let me just do right there. I don't want to waste what I picked up on my finger. Right there. Let me get my little highlighter brush. Do a little bit right. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, all right, so now I'm gonna dip into this. I'm using a Morphe M501. This is one of my favorite highlighter brushes. I am gonna be comparing this highlighter to another NATASHA Denona highlighter that I have in my stash, as well as to drugstore, so stay tuned. But this is pretty. Like, this is a really buttery, smooth highlighter. I do enjoy NATASHA Denona highlighters. I think they're really pretty. And they're not like glittery highlighters. They're very smooth, intense at times, but you can most definitely just blend them in to sheer them out. Now, if you were to spray your face like with some setting spray and then go in with the highlighter, that's just gonna give you like double bling. But you don't have to do that. I do that sometimes, but I don't always do it, and I'm not gonna do it today. But yeah, this looks really pretty. I know it's kind of hard to see. My studio lights in here kind of drown out the highlight, but trust me, I'm looking at it here in the mirror. I can see it. It looks really pretty. Guys, if you're wondering about the lipstick I'm wearing, it's this one from BH Cosmetics. It's part of the Miss Claus collection. This was the lip duo that I got. It's a liquid lipstick and a gold gloss. What is the shade on it? It is called, and I believe the shade is called Jingle Bell. So picked it up at Ulta, really like it. It's a very festive red. Okay guys, so the cheeks are done with cream blush, new formula of highlighter. Wow, I'm glowing. I love the combination. I love the shades on both. Really pretty, really neutral, very wearable. Love it. No issues. Didn't expect there to be. And I think they're both nice products. All right, so now I'm going to be creating two different eye looks using this palette. We'll see what I can come up with. I need to try and be creative with these very neutral shades. You guys know I love playing with colorful makeup, but I don't mind a neutral look every now and then. It's quick, it's easy, it's out the door, and sometimes neutral looks are the most beautiful. So let's jump into look number one. All right, so I did already prime my eyelids using this one from NATASHA Denona. This is her Work and Set Gel Liner in the shade Nude. This was part of the Mini Xenon collection, and so I picked up the nude shade so that I could use it for this very purpose. But I think I also want to pick up the black because sometimes I don't want to do a liquid black liner. Sometimes I just want a nice gel liner, and I really have been enjoying this formula, so I might do that. I might add that to my cart in the Sephora sale. Okay guys, so these are the shades that we're working with today. Again, very neutral, but those shimmer shades are fantastic. So what I want to do is, let's see, I gotta really be creative with this. I'm gonna start, let's see. I'm gonna start with this shade right here. This shade is called the Smoke shade. So I'm actually gonna smoke that out all over the lid and a bit into the crease. And I'm gonna use this little NATASHA Denona brush that came with the Mini Metropolis palette. I'm just gonna be focusing that on the lid and then blending into the crease. The Mini Metropolis palette was, I believe, the first palette, well, mini palette at least, that she included a brush with. And this has just been a really nice, unexpected like, because I've found myself reaching for it whenever I'm up here doing my makeup. And it's just really come in handy, and it's nice. It's functional, it works. I like that it's small too. So not bad if you all end up picking up that Mini Metropolis, which it would make a fantastic gift because it comes like in a little box with the palette and of course with the brush. I don't think you'll be disappointed with either. So this is a really nice brown, kind of like a cool tone brown a little bit, maybe like in between cool and warm. That's what I noticed about this palette. The Glam Palette, which is like the midi size of palette, that is a cool tone palette, a beautiful cool tone palette. But this one seems to be bordering more on the warm side. So I thought that was interesting, which I don't mind. I think I tend to gravitate more towards warm tones than I do cool tones, but I need to implement more cool tones, especially like grays. If you guys saw my Game Beauty, trying Game Beauty for the first time video, I used this matte gray shade for my transition shade for both looks, and it was beautiful. It kind of just left me wondering, why don't I use gray shadow more often? All right, so this shade is beautiful. I like the way it's blended out, but I am gonna switch the brush because I need to get a little bit more of a precise blend in the crease. So I'm gonna take the Rephr 14 and I'm gonna dip into this shade that's called Crease. Now I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that Smoke shade, same Rephr brush. Oh, that's nice. I'm cleaning off the brush and I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the lightest shade, which is called Transition. Very lightly placing it right up here. Right out here as well. All right, now for a shimmer shade. I really think I wanna use this one. This one is so pretty. You know what, let me just, so that you guys can see them here, swatched next to each other. That's what they look like. I mean, almost identical, right? But let's see. There you can clearly see, like, one is a little bit more on the bronze side and the other one is a little bit more pale gold. Now I'm taking a damp Rephr 28. Felt a little bit of fallout. Now there is some texture to this, like when you're applying it with the brush, but it glides on very smooth on the lid. I'm gonna spray it again. You're probably gonna wanna use like a glitter glue with this, just because I do feel like I'm getting fallout with it. And it's probably because of that texture. But guys, I don't really reach for the glitter glue that often. I just use a damp brush. And it seems to be working just fine right now. I'll wipe away that little bit of fallout. Look at that, that's so pretty. I mean, this is definitely a beautiful holiday palette. What a beautiful gift to find under the tree or in the stocking. Wow, what a nice stocking stuffer. Never gotten gifts this nice in my stocking. Wipe that away a bit. I love that. That's so, so pretty. Really simple too. Like I didn't have to use all the shades that I did. I could have just used the smoke shade and the inner corner shade and been okay. But because I'm trying the palette out for you guys, I wanted to use as many shades as I could. So I'm going to be using 4 out of the 5 eyeshadows for this look. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with the crease shade. And I'm taking that on a Refer 26. There is some kick up in the pan, but not too bad. I mean, it's as usual with the NATASHA Denona shadows. The formula is just so good though. I'm going to pick up a little bit of smoke shade. Just focus it out here. Now on a damp Refer 03, going back in with that inner corner shade, which is what I have up here. You can see the difference. You see how it looks layered over the dark brown versus right here by itself. It definitely changes the look of it. So I'm going to add some liner and mascara, and I'll be right back to show you this completed look number 1. All right, guys, so this is the completed look number 1 with the new NATASHA Denona Glam Face Palette. Let me tell you quickly what I added. So I went in with this e.l.f. by Jen Atkin eye pencil. This is the Zero Effort liner, and this one is in the shade, this is a dark brown shade, okay? So not black, dark brown. That's what I have going on the top and lower waterline. I used, again, my little Too Cute BK Beauty. This is the 208 brush to kind of just draw a little bit of a wing out here. I do enjoy using a dark brown eyeliner, sometimes more than I do a black eyeliner, just because I feel the dark brown really makes my green eyes pop. So if you have green eyes, consider dark brown instead of black. It might work a little bit better for you. And then for mascara, I went in with the Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara, which I am almost out of this one. I might need to pick up another tube during the Sephora sale. And this is the look that I got. Really love it. Love it. No issues. No issues at all. Let's jump over to the left eye and start creating look number 2. Okay, so for look number 2, I kind of want to do maybe something a little bit more simple, not so smoky. So I think I'm going to go in with Transition and Crease. I think these will be the 2 shades that I use on the lid, and maybe I'll do a little bit of smoke on the lower lash line. So let me go in with Transition first. And I'm taking this shade on a Refer 15. Well, this shade is building up quite nicely. I mean, it's not going to get too dark, but it looks good. I like that it can be built up a bit. All right, now with the Refer 14, I'm going to do the crease shade. I'm going to do a bit of a halo eye with it. Not an intense halo eye, just a little one. These shades are so pretty. Definitely, if you are a neutral lover, you might want to get this palette and add it to your collection. Especially if you like to collect NATASHA Denona palettes, which I know a lot of you do. I mean, they're amazing quality. You can never go wrong with the NATASHA Denona palette. I mean, very few and far between you'll have issues with, but for the most part, her quality is on point with the majority of her palettes. And I think it's just gotten better over the years. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the only shade we haven't used yet, and that is this one right here, which is called the Outer Corner. I'm just going to focus it right here in the center. You don't have to go by what it tells you to do in the palette. So like this one said Outer Corner, and obviously I'm putting it in the center lid. You do and wear them how you want to. I'm taking that shade on a damp Morphe M124. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with the crease shade, taking that on a Refer 26. Love this brush for exactly what I'm doing. Dragging it down a little bit as well to kind of just smoke it out a bit down here. I don't want to make it too dark though. Now for the inner corner, I'm going to try using the Star Glow, which is the highlighter. And I'm not going to spray it. Let's see what... Wow. So this is that new formula using the Japanese technology to really make it shine. Let me see. I want to see what it's going to do if I spray it. Wow. That's pretty. I'm going to add a little bit right here. All right, guys, I'm going to do some liner. I don't know if I'm going to do, I might do the same liner, but not do a wing. And then I'm going to do something brighter on the lower waterline. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this is look number 2. What do you guys think? Definitely a less dramatic look, a more subdued look, but I really do like it. I went in with the same e.l.f. eye pencil, dark brown, but I just kind of tight lined the top lash line. And then for the lower waterline, I went in with this one from LA Girl. This is the Shockwave liner in the shade Gold Metal. Same Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. And this is the look. So you got something smoky and dramatic and then a soft halo eye over here. So I definitely think this is maybe a more wearable shade for an everyday basis. And then this is like your evening look. I mean, just depending on what your makeup taste is, I would wear either look any type of day, but then again, I go out in bright blue and bright pink eyeshadow, so don't mind me. You do what you like, but I think these shades are very complementary to a fair to light skin tone. I like them. They were very easy to work with. So let me start wrapping up today's video. I'm going to give you my final thoughts in case you don't know them already, and then I'm going to share with you my dupes and alternatives for this new Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. Alright guys, so after creating the 2 looks, after applying the blush and the highlighter, no problems. I loved everything that was included in this Natasha Denona Glam Palette. Even though this is a very neutral palette, this is unlike me because I love bright, beautiful, colorful eyeshadow, but this was a joy to work with. These are very flattering shades. I liked the ease of blendability. I liked the pigmentation. I wasn't worried about that. I didn't think that this wasn't going to be a good product. I knew it was going to be a good palette. I've rarely had an issue with any Natasha Denona shadows. This palette is no different. I do like the packaging, although it is that mirrored packaging, so you're definitely going to get fingerprints on this, but I do appreciate that she gives us this little cover for the cream blush and the highlighter. This new highlighter formula is beautiful. I mean, it's very creamy and buttery, but it's not like a Super Shock. It's kind of maybe bordering on the Super Shock, but I definitely think the Super Shock feels a little more putty-like. And this is kind of almost that. The cream blush was very easy to build up and to blend out. Again, I used that little e.l.f. brush. You can use your Refer 04, or you can use whatever your favorite blush brush is for applying cream blush, or use your digits over here because you can very easily use your fingertips and blend it that way. The nude shades, okay, the 5 eyeshadow shades that are at the bottom, they're beautiful. I mean, they're nude shades. They're very easy to wear. They go with just about everything. You can get a nice, you know, smoky eye over here, or something more everyday, little nice halo eye on this side, whatever your preference is. Do what I did maybe. Do a simple eye and jazz it up with a bold lip. That's a very easy look to accomplish, but you're not going to have any issues with the shades. The shimmer shades are very pretty. The matte shades are creamy, buttery, smooth, easy to blend. No issues with the performance of this palette. Now, this is a $59 eyeshadow palette, so you need to ask yourself, Do you want to spend $59 for a blush, a highlighter, and 5 neutral shadows? Let me give you some dupes and alternatives of things you might already have in your stash. Alright guys, so I wanted to pull out the Glam Palette. This was released last year, I believe. So this is what the Glam Palette looks like. It is a very cool toned color story. So like I was telling you earlier, I don't feel that even though this is named Glam, I don't really feel like these shades are identical in any way to anything that you're getting here in the original Glam Palette. So you can see warm tones at the top with the new palette and definitely more cool tones at the bottom. So I think if maybe you have the Glam Palette, this might be a nice addition to add. You can definitely use them interchangeably. It'd be nice to add a couple warm tone shades with this cool tone palette. I think that would look really nice. Another palette that I wanted to pull out, and what I immediately thought of is when I saw these eyeshadows, was the Mini Nude. This is one of my favorite Natasha Denona palettes of all time. This is a $25 eyeshadow palette. Impeccable quality. I mean, this travels with me everywhere. Now, let me go ahead and hold them up side by side. I did swatch these, so I am going to insert the swatch photo in a second, but they look similar. But when I show you the swatch photo, you're definitely going to be able to see and tell a difference. So you can definitely see in the new Glam face palette, there's a little bit more slightly cool, warmer tones versus what is in the Mini Nude palette. You definitely have a deeper matte brown shade, and then you have the 3 different shimmer shades, whereas in this palette, you're only getting the 2 shimmer shades. However, you can use the highlighter as an eyeshadow like I did right here on the inner corner, but they're still not exactly the same shades either. But if you have this palette, you might not feel the need to go out and spend $59 for a blush and a highlighter, because these shades are very similar, and to be honest, when you get them on the eye, nobody's gonna really be able to tell, oh, is that the Mini Nude? Oh no, that's the new Face Glam. I mean, it's gonna depend on what you wanna spend and looking at your stash to see what you have. I don't know that both of them are necessary, and I don't know that the $59 price tag justifies itself just for a blush and highlighter, especially if you already have this one, and especially if you have the blush and highlighter alternative that I'm about to show you. Alright, so I pulled 2 different e.l.f. blushes, and actually this is a little face duo. I thought that maybe this one could be a spot-on dupe for the blush and highlighter shade, but the highlighter shade in this one is darker than what is in the new Natasha Denona palette. So I'm going to insert those swatch photos here so that you can see what they look like. So in my opinion, guys, this blush right here, and I'm going to swatch them here on camera as well, this blush to me was the best dupe for the blush that is in the Natasha Denona palette. Granted, this is powder and that one is cream. However, this e.l.f. Putty Blush, this is a cream blush, but I don't feel it was an exact match the way this one was. This palette is called, what was this one called? Lychee. And this is a $3 palette. So here's the Natasha Denona blush. I'm gonna build it up a little bit. And then let me get Lychee from the e.l.f. palette. I think Lychee has a little bit more pink in it, but they're super, super similar. I mean, again, when you have them on your cheek, nobody is really going to be able to tell. Now I want to swatch the highlighter just so that way you can see the difference. Here's the Natasha Denona highlighter. And then here is the highlighter that is in Lychee. There's definitely a difference in the highlighter, but not by much, right? I definitely think Lychee is darker. So $3, $59. So now I want to swatch the e.l.f. Putty Blush. This one is in the shade Tahiti. I'm just going to swatch it. Let's see. Let me take off my watch. I'm going to swatch it right above the NATASHA DENONA one. And there you can see. I mean, very similar to, again, this one is the cream formula. So if you want the same, you know, cream formula, then maybe get Tahiti and not get Lychee. $3, $6, $59. I mean, you be the judge. Now, I also want to compare the NATASHA DENONA I Need a Nude Glow highlighter to the one that is in the new Glam palette. Let me throw up a swatch photo here. So now let me go ahead and swatch them for you here on camera. This is I Need a Nude, and this one is going to be Star Glow. I thought these were super similar. Slightly different, but guys, if you already have I Need a Nude Glow, which I love that highlighter, I mean, I don't know that they are that different that you need the face palette. And then I also wanted to show you guys this Milani highlighter. This is the baked highlighter in the shade Dolce Perla. And I'm going to put that one on this side. So right here is Star Glow. This is the new one. Here's Dolce Perla from Milani, and here's I Need a Nude Glow from NATASHA DENONA. The Milani highlighter is about $8 or $10. I don't think it's over $10. The I Need a Nude Glow, this one was like 40 bucks. Like, that's a lot, right? Compared to the palette that's 59. Yeah, this was an expensive highlighter. I think it was around $40. I think it's still available too on the Sephora website. Now, I had also pulled out, they're not dupes, and I don't really think they're alternatives either, but I had pulled out this one from Wet n Wild. This is the Color Icon 10-pan palette. This one is in the shade, I don't remember what shade this one is because it tore off when I took off the wrapper, but I've done a tutorial with this one. I've done a 2-look video, so I'll have that linked up above if you want to check it out. This is a nice dupe for the Naked Honey palette, but I thought of this one, but when I actually sat down to swatch them, they weren't all that similar. Definitely more warm toned at the top, obviously more yellow leaning than the NATASHA DENONA at the bottom. And then I had also thought about these two from e.l.f. So the Wet n Wild palette is about $6 or $7, and these little bite-sized eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. are $3. So I had pulled this one out first. This one is in the shade Cream and Sugar. So again, a very neutral palette. Very similar. So definitely not a spot on dupe, but definitely a very nice alternative. Maybe you want the deeper brown shade instead of paying, I guess, 25 bucks. Is when you break down the big palette, you're basically paying, let's say it's $60. So you're paying $25 for the 5 shadows and $15 for the blush and $15 for the highlighter. So justify it to yourself in that sense, especially if you have some of these other palettes that I'm showing you or some of the other highlighters and blushes. I don't know that this palette is completely necessary if you have these others in your stash. And this other e.l.f. one, this one is in the shade Pumpkin Pie. Again, once I swatched it out, it wasn't that close. So that's why I'm not even inserting the swatch photos. But, you know, just by looking at the pans, they are kind of similar, but no, not spot on. But again, once you get them on your eyes, nobody's going to know if it's e.l.f. or NATASHA DENONA. Only you will. So, you know, whatever your pocketbook allows, guys. I mean, by all means, guys, if you really love this palette and you collect NATASHA DENONA and you just love the formula and you have the $59 less the Sephora discount, if you can still get it at Sephora, I'd go for it because the quality is great. The highlighter is beautiful. The blush, I mean, if these are your tones, if this is your color story, then have at it because the packaging is beautiful. I mean, what a beautiful gift. If maybe this is going to be a gift to somebody, this is nice. Like, you're not going to be disappointed with this palette at all. But if you have several of these other items that I showed you, I don't know. I mean, you tell me, are you willing to spend the $59 for 5 shadows, a blush, and a highlight? Or would you rather spend that $59 on maybe, actually, let's round it up to $60, maybe on picking up 2 of her mini palettes? That would only be 50 bucks, so less. These mini palettes are fantastic. Fantastic. And so if you don't have any of these and maybe you don't really have a need for the blush and the highlighter, I'd say just pick up a couple of the mini palettes and you'll be good to go. or pay a few dollars more and get the Glam palette if you don't have it in your stash. Or even, I pulled this one out. I pulled out the bronze palette. I mean, this one is beautiful too. This is definitely the more warm tone color story, but this is definitely more warm than what you're getting in the new Glam face palette. So you be the judge, guys. It's your pocketbook. It is your makeup stash. If you want it, get it, because you're not going to be disappointed with it. But that wraps up my video, guys. I am going to give the new Natasha Denona Face Glam palette, of course, 2 thumbs up, because I love the 2 looks I was able to create. I love how easy it was to use. Is it my color story? Not necessarily, especially because, you know, I have similar things already in my stash, like you might have already, but maybe you're new to Natasha Denona. Maybe you've been seeing it here on YouTube. All of us talk about it. This would definitely be a nice way to dip your toes into the Natasha Denona collection. I definitely think once you try Natasha Denona, you don't go back. You're gonna wanna keep buying more and more and more. But let me know your thoughts, guys. What did you think of the 2 looks I created? What did you think of the dupes, the alternatives? What did you think of this new release from Natasha Denona? Leave it in the comments down below. I want to say a big welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for being here, and I really do hope you guys are enjoying my content. That's it for me, guys. I need to edit, get this video up, and then hit the sack. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.